Good evening, everybody. Good evening, good evening, good evening. I want to, what these discussions are about mostly is within the DVSA, what happens within the DVSA is often they have highlights that they need to follow up. So one day you go to the DVSA and all of a sudden they have a bug about how people deal with roundabouts, and then they are being really difficult with people on roundabouts and looking for reasons to fail them for roundabouts. Then 2 weeks, 3 weeks later, they have a new thing going around, and then you get to a test center, and now all of a sudden it's all about pulling up on the left, that you must be a certain distance from the curb and you mustn't touch the curb and so on. So things change. You have this fluidity happening within the driving test where certain points are highlighted by the examiners more than other points. There is a certain amount of consistency. There are obviously consistencies as far as the actual test valuations go, but they do highlight different things at different times. So what I wanted to discuss with you this evening is something that came up in a test which I haven't seen for a long time, but it is something that that has been what I would call a top priority within the test ambience at the time, quite a while back. And that is checking your right shoulder, looking over your right shoulder before you move off, looking what they call into the blind spot area. Now, this is the question that a lot of students will ask me is, well, why do I have to do that? Because I've got my mirrors, I can see with my mirrors. The problem that you've got is that you do, no matter how well you set your mirrors, and if you set your mirrors the way I'm going to discuss how you should set your mirrors today, they will be really well, they will really be well positioned, and you will have less blind spot. But even with that, there is a blind spot area. There is an area that ends up being a blind spot. And there's nothing you can do about it. It is just, you cannot see into that area. But obviously, the further away that blind spot is from the sides of the car, the further away that, the less of an error that is if you don't see in that area. But my recommendation to you is that you should really, really have a look. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to demonstrate when we'll pretend I'm in the car and I'm the student. Now, I want you all, this is a question. Tell me what's happened here. I'm looking ahead, and I'm going to be looking ahead at you. I'm looking down. You guys are the windscreen. I'm looking out of the windscreen. And now I'm about to move off. So the first thing I do is I put the car in gear. The car is now in gear. The next thing I have to do is check my mirrors and check my thing. So I look up at my right-hand mirror, I look at my right mirror, and then I look over my shoulder and I come back, and now I'm ready. I put on my signal and I move off. Now, what was wrong with that? Who can guess what was wrong with that? I am offering the person with the right answer here, we are going to give them a £10 Amazon gift voucher so they can buy themselves the DVSA's latest book on the highway code, or whatever they want to buy with it. Okay, tea, maybe a little bit of tea. All right, so who can tell me what was wrong with that? Francis, you were the first one who put your hand up. Okay. Can I allow you to talk, Francis? Tell us, Francis Okolo?
Yeah.
Why don't you tell us? Yes, Francis.
Thank you for having me. So what I think, you're supposed to put your trafficator first. As soon as you look at your right hand, as in the blind spot, that's when you have to move. Not doing that before.
No, Francis. Sorry.
Oh.
No, that's not right. Look,
Right.
Let's look at the sequence, because you brought up the sequence. Okay, Francis? You've got all the elements there, which is really good. Okay, all the elements are there. That's good. Okay, so I'm just going to just give me a moment. So you've got all the elements, Francis, and that was good, because you should look over and you should look at your blind spot and then put on your signal. But the process in reality in the real process they are looking for is, first of all, you put your car in gear, whether that's a normal manual car or it's an automatic car. You should put your car in gear. The next thing you should do is look at your mirrors. Look up, look up at the main mirror, look down to the right at your side mirror. And then just doing this out the back window is what they call a token check. Why is it called a token check? And that's a fault, okay? Why is that a fault? That's what I'm trying to get to. Why is that a fault? But the next thing that you would do is put on your, if it's clear and there are no cars coming, you would put on your signal and you would move. If there are cars coming, you would wait until the cars are cleared. You would do your checks again and then look over and then move off. But why was my check a token check? Why would it be called a token check? Yes, Kyla, I'm going to give you an opportunity to tell us. Come on. Oh, I don't know. Kyla, I don't know if I don't know the name. I must be honest with you.
Oh no, it's Kyla. No worries. I accidentally took it off the hand thing, so that's why it stopped working. But I was gonna say, is it because you took your hands off the wheel whilst you were doing the check?
No, it's not. It's no, my hands are on the wheel. I'll do it again. Here I am. Up, right. What's wrong with that? Come on. 10 pounds here. 10 pounds. Come on.
So
you're under pressure now.
By the looks of it, it looks like you didn't look left before like looking behind. And I saw you're supposed to kind of look behind and then look right again before you or something like that.
I think you're on track, but I think you're missing something. Let me explain it so everybody can hear it. Kyla, I'll give you guys another opportunity again. This one is didn't work. Was no flowers, no nothing. Okay, all right, good try. Listen, I really appreciate the fact that you came on and talked to us. Okay, so the thing that happens there is it's a token check, which means basically if you don't stop to look. When I'm looking in the behind mirror, my eyes will actually sit there for a couple of moments or seconds looking into the mirror. Looking into the right-hand mirror, my eyes will stop and look into the right-hand mirror. But doing this is a token. My eyes didn't stop and look. If I really want to look, this is a look. And now I'm back. Did you see the difference in the timing? That's what's important. If I'm just doing this, I'm flapping my head around. I've got my head on a swivel and I'm looking around. And the examiners will not accept that you actually looked. I'll tell you what, next time you're in the car, have a look and just try and take a note how long it takes you to focus into the mirror and see in the mirror. You can't do it in an instant. There is a moment of fixation while your eyes adapt and look. This is just token. You're not really looking. You're not focusing. You're not. This is a shoulder check. That's a shoulder check. There's a time lapse where I stop my head and look while I observe, and then I bring my head back. That is looking over your right shoulder. And the reason I wanted to bring it up tonight is because this student, and I really feel sorry for him, the examiner said he had an absolutely perfect drive. He says not a single fault, nothing, everything, and it felt good, and he drove at the right speeds, and he did the junctions safely. He did everything beautifully. He says, but he gave me token right shoulder checks. He didn't do one proper shoulder check. He says he did those token things. Just, yeah, he's flapping his head around like he's got it on a swivel. But he didn't stop and look. And I always say to people, you must physically look, stop, hold, return, and then you've looked. Does that make sense to everybody? Can you understand what I'm talking about? Don't do the token looking. And when you're looking in your mirrors, what you do when you're looking in your mirrors and you're preparing your car to move off, you have to stop and look in the mirror. For you to be able to observe if there are oncoming cars, you actually physically have to stop and look. You can't look into the mirror, just flap your eyes onto it. You're not going to see a thing. And there's something else that happens as well, is while your head and your eyes are moving, you cannot see movement. That's a really strange thing. And I wish I could demonstrate that to you. This is one of the most dangerous things you can do, is when you get to a junction on a giveaway line and you do this, as if you've looked to the right-hand side. Your head was moving all the time. You didn't stop. You have to actually stop and glance, hold the vision to see the movement, because our brains see movement by comparing images. That's how our brains see movement. Next time you're out, do yourself a favor. Just do this. All of you do this. This is a really good thing to do, and it's a really good thing to realize. Next time you're out, when you're outside and the wind is blowing lightly and the trees are just moving, look at the tree, you'll see the movement. But then what you do is you hold your eyes fixed on the tree and you move your head like that. The moment you do that, you cannot see the movement anymore. It looks as if that tree is standing still. Because of the movement of your head all the time, it never gets an image to compare. And that's when you don't see, that's how you don't see a motorcyclist. If you get to the end of the road, people say, I didn't see him coming. No, because they did that. They didn't hold the gaze to see the double images, to see the one image compared to the other in their brain for them to pick up the movement. We cannot pick up movement without seeing more than one image. If we only catch that one image, we have not seen the movement. We have to catch a number of images to be able, for our brain to be able to see that that is movement. It's a really interesting phenomena. It's the reverse of doing a movie. It's really strange. It just shows you how absolutely fantastic our brains are. Because our brain is actually, what it's doing, it's taking photographs. Photograph, next photograph, next photograph, compares the photographs, can see the movement. It's not a fluid thing it's seeing the actual comparisons in the movement. And if you are moving, if your car is moving and your head is flapping all over the place, you're not going to see the movement. The movement becomes dead to you because there's too much movement for your head. There's no comparison. We'll see the images, but it won't actually see the movement. And that's why the motorcyclist gets misjudged, because you can't see the movement and he's vertical and he's coming straight at you. He's not moving across your field of vision. Really interesting concept. And it's real. It's absolutely real. So don't do the token look. Teach yourselves to fixate your gaze. Even if you're looking at a junction, look, hold, check, look, hold, check. Just so that you can have that comparison of images. That's how the cyclist gets missed. That's how the motorcyclist gets missed, is because you're not allowing the one image to be compared to the next image, because you're not holding your eyes still enough, long enough to see that movement. Really, really important. Now, the examiners want to see that, you know, if you're driving along and the examiner says, okay, at the next junction, turn left. What you do at that stage, the moment, even if you're not at the point where you want to put on your signal, check your mirrors. Think in your mind, okay, Mr. Examiner, I'm checking my mirror and my left mirror. And okay, now the junction's close enough. Check my center mirror, check my left mirror, put on my left signal. That way, there's no doubt about what you've done. You want to do the move off, do your right shoulder check and sit there and look out of your right window for a while. Out of that back window behind you, you can see, okay, now you can come back. Now you check your mirrors, put on your signal, and away you go. You've done your right shoulder check properly because you've held that gaze for a moment. Is that clear to everybody? Okay, now something I have done before on a number of occasions. So if anybody has been with us for a while, I am going to lose the 10 pounds. I'm going to give everybody an opportunity to win this. 10 pounds from me. The first one who gets his hand up gets the opportunity to answer. Are we all concentrating? Right? Shake it ready. Everybody ready? Here we go. Okay. Who can tell me and I will use the word trafficator for signal. Who can tell me how many directional signals are on the trafficator? How many directional signals are on the trafficator? Really easy answer, guys. This is the easy one. Aha, Samantha, I know you had it first. Go for it, Samantha. Talk to us.
3.
Okay, and now you need to tell everybody what they are. You're absolutely correct. What are they?
So it's left, right, and no signal.
And what does no signal mean?
No signal can mean you're going straight ahead if you're on a roundabout.
Yeah, no signal. There are 3 signals on the trafficator. If you've got your left signal on, you're telling everybody I'm going left at this junction. If you've got your right signal on, you're telling everybody I'm going right at this junction. And if you're going straight, you don't put on your signal. Samantha, absolutely, you've got that one. Larissa is making notes. She's going to be contacting you, so you can contact her as well, Samantha, and you have.
Thank you.
You have just become the prize winner for this evening. Yes, 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 yes. Well done. Brilliant stuff. Okay, so some people are actually listening to me. I'm not just talking something here. Have you got any other questions? Any other bits of wisdom you want to share with us, Samantha?
No, but I mean, I get confused at roundabouts. That's like my weakness, I think.
Okay.
It would be nice if maybe you can talk about roundabouts. I don't know if you've already spoken about them in previous lectures, but I think for me anyway, roundabouts are a problem.
Okay, so would you be able to attend next Wednesday, and I will revise roundabouts with everybody? How's that? Can I do that?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Thank you very much.
All right, and what I'd suggest you do is talk to Larissa, and she can arrange for you to go and watch our online video tutorials on the roundabouts. That will help you a lot. Okay.
Brilliant. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, Samantha. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Okay. I have Adebayo. Yes, Adebayo. Did you want to say something?
Yeah, I wanted to say, Chris, that the question around the 3-directional signal was discussed last week. I think we did mention that there were 3, so I think that £10 need to be spilled over to this week because it was discussed last week as well. So it'll be fair for people that we consistently attending to take a share of that £10.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, she got it right. You see.
Yeah, she did. Yeah.
Yeah, she got it absolutely perfectly correct. You see, the reason I make such a fuss about it is a lot of people think, well, I'm not signaling, I'm not telling anybody anywhere I'm going, I'm making a singular mistake. But actually they're making 2 mistakes. It's just as much a mistake not to signal as it is to give a left signal and turn right. There's no difference between the 2. They're basically just as much a fault. And a lot of people are too lazy to signal, and then in the end, that can be interpreted, and it can really create an accident. And people don't realize how important it is. And if people were more careful with their signaling, we'd have a lot safer roads as well. Really would.
Yeah.
Very.
I completely agree, Chris. I think the issue with signal is not only just for the drivers or the road users, because sometimes I go for a run, and sometimes if we need to turn into a road, I look at the signaling of cars, oncoming cars, because I think signaling is the way the cars communicate. That's their language.
Yes.
I've been in an instance where a guy was going to turn to the left because he didn't signal. I assume he was going straight ahead, and I turned, and he turned immediately as well.
Well, if he wasn't signaling, he wasn't signaling, he was telling you he's going straight ahead.
Exactly. But there's a lot of bad road users that drive sometimes. So that's the importance of the signaling as well.
Yeah, but it's because people don't realize that no signal is a signal. Do you understand? It's because
I completely agree.
Yeah, because they don't actually realize that no signal is a signal. It's just as much a signal as a left or right signal. And that what you've just demonstrated is exactly why that is dangerous not to signal. because by
Mhm.
not signaling, he was telling you he was going straight. So you didn't
Yeah.
expect him to turn left. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Thank you for that contribution. Really
All right.
appreciate it. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Okay. All right, guys. Okay. All right. So that was the things that I wanted to handle. And I think what we'll do is we'll do another revision of the roundabouts next week. I will actually talk, I think we'll spread the roundabouts over two weeks. We'll first talk about classification, identification, and classification of roundabouts. And then once we've done the identification and classification of roundabouts, we'll also talk about the actual signaling procedures and the dangers of flatlining in a roundabout. What is the problem with that sort of thing happening to you? Because the examiners will, if you flatline a roundabout, they just look for that as an excuse to actually fail you as well. Okay, so we'll also talk about what it means when people flatline a roundabout. Okay, we'll talk about that as well. I'll cover some of as much of that topic as I can next week. Okay, I'm going to say thank you to everybody who attended this evening. That was really great fun we had this evening. Good interaction as well from everybody who participated. And guys, please don't be afraid to reach out if we can help you with your tests or if you've got questions. And next week we will discuss the roundabouts in quite some detail. Thank you so much for your support, and we really appreciate it. Thank you, everybody. Good night.